This is UFO Buster Radio, episode number 283. I figure I gotta start talking before the end of the intro, because then people will say it's taking too long. So I need to interject. For those of you who like that intro, you know, I keep saying that. I keep saying that I'm gonna look up the full song to play for you guys, but I don't. Hashtag, it's true. Welcome aboard. This is the live episode on Spreaker.com, and actually every episode you've listened to, probably for the last 7 or 8 months, has been live. Only a few of you actually pick up on that, like the last episode David was on. But by the way, David is a member of UBR Truth Seekers, and David, I stole one of your articles to talk about. And this is really what happens, right? There usually is not a whole lot going on in UFO circles. I mean, really, I could probably do an episode every day of the week because apparently people are starting to get wind of To The Stars Academy's Army deal. Fuck, they don't even put To The Stars Academy in the tagline anymore. They actually just go straight for Blink 182 Tom DeLonge. Don't even mention TTSA anymore. And everyone's reporting it now. It's everywhere. And I said that. I think I said that last week. By next week, it's going to catch fire. Everyone's going to talk about it. And the weird thing is that the one story that folks should kind of listen to a little closer is the fact that Elon Musk is also making his own deals with the U.S. military on the sly. There is a cover-up for one of those stories. Someone is trying to slide things in on the cover, as usual, so that we don't pay attention. But if you blink, you will miss it. You're not even going to know about it. One of these two organizations is going to receive a shitload of money in the next few years. A lot of money. One of them is going to close its doors to the public in one way or another. And you won't know anything. And probably both of them, really, because they're both contributing to military functions of the United States. So a good portion of them will not be public for you guys. And you can't submit not one fucking FOIA. Because Freedom of Information Act does not apply to corporate entities. So you can submit all the fucking FOIAs you want. They will go nowhere. FOIAs only work on the government. Only. And I know some of you are out there right now, chopping away at your little keyboard. Probably breaking off keys at random. That bouncing off your animals, your cats and your dogs. But it's not going to work because they're not going to lift one fucking finger for you. They're going to send it right back. If anything, they'll direct you to some kind of executive office in one of these companies and tell you good luck with that. Because if you thought that it was difficult to get something out of a government agency, fuck, you just don't have a clue how difficult it will be to get something out of a corporation. But that is what they want. They don't want someone sitting in a basement full of records having to answer things and look for records and accidentally actually give you what you want. Maybe even forget to redact a few things. The game is being played, folks. And again, some of you keep saying it is a controlled way to give us disclosure. But let's be honest, what's going to happen when you don't get that disclosure? Because really, the information right now is being controlled by folks that came onto the scene saying that the public needed to know. And the public does not. And the public will not. Because the people that they say were hiding the information from you are the ones that they're partnering with. Think about that. Anyway, I'm Manny Moonraker. I thank you guys for actually going to the YouTubes and the Facebooks and checking out the video that I put together regarding the little trip to Boca, Chica. I appreciate. The last time I was on here, I did say that I'm going to hardwire the equipment in order to broadcast a weekend episode of the podcast on video. And of course, I got to do a test run. So the first place that that's going to happen will be in the group UBR Truth Seeker, which is close to the general public's. So if you want to catch that accident of me trying to run the podcast live and a live video feed, you're more than welcome to join UBR Truth Seekers. The guards are there. There are people guarding the gate to the group. One of them being Ronnie Dawson. Billy is there too. I am there. There's a couple other people who will be standing at the gate waiting to see who tries to come in. Trust me, we've had to turn back Al Qaeda a few times. That's not even a joke. That's kind of actually true in a way. Anyway, we got 2 stories for today for your listening pleasure. The first one is from China. I have no idea. What the hell did I do with that 5-minute clip of President Trump saying China over and over in every way imaginable? I got to find that because that would have been perfect right now. China. And the rubber dickers who actually put the article together, and I'll tell you about that in a second. And the second article is about a particular star and the fact that no one really knows how old the star is. It's pretty sad that we go through this all the time. Every week, something's happening in space. Someone's trying to measure something and they can't get it right. They can't get right. So we're going to head on to the first article. Then we'll take a little bit of a musical break. And then we'll get back to the last one. And then we'll say sayonaras, muchachos. By the way, I just got to say one more thing, and I seem to do this every time that I have more than one article. Everyone's giving me shit about flavored vodkas and rums. Like, nobody really likes coconut-flavored alcohol. I mean, I love it. It tastes so good. What is wrong with you guys? How can you not like that? It's coconut. That's all I got to say. It's just frustrating, and some frustrations I just got to get out, and the podcast is the only place I can do it. So there you go. If you enjoy coconut rum or vodka or whatever the fuck it is, let me know. Send me a message. Let me know what's your favorite coconut alcohol. But I'm not talking about mixed alcohol. Don't send me no fucking pina coladas. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm done with that right now. China's helicopter prototype looks like a UFO. This story out of CNN. Of all places, CNN. If you're interested in what this looks like, please look at the picture that was placed for this episode, and you will see China's quote-unquote helicopter UFO. First thing I want to say is, CNN, you're a bunch of assholes. This is basically what's happening here. The Chinese put together this crazy looking thing. And I'm telling you, that does not look like it even works. I haven't seen any videos. I didn't find any. It doesn't look like it works. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. But CNN used the term UFO because of TTSA and the Army and SpaceX, right? Because all they're talking about is UFOs, alien life, and contracts with these guys and metamaterial. So why not say that China has a helicopter that looks like a UFO? Folks are looking for UFOs now, all over the place. So here comes the story. This thing that looks like they could probably just sling it across the water and it will skip like forever. It's called the super great white shark, according to Chinese media folks. The Chinese say it is an armed helicopter designed for future digital information battlefield. I can't. I don't understand this. This makes no sense. I mean, you guys are looking at this just like I am. I don't see any futuristic digital anything on that. The great white shark, which is not white, let me just start there. The fucking thing is not white. The great white shark measures 7.6 meters long and is almost 3 meters high, and it fits approximately 2 crew members. But when you look at the pictures, they must be sitting on each other's lap, getting really personal. I'll just leave it there. But there are schematics on the internet of this, the top secret vehicle. Fucking schematics. You can see what's in the damn thing, and I don't see any propellers, to be honest. There are schematic drawings that show the outer shell covers rotors and engines, which would presumably give the helicopter stuff capability because any sharp angles would be covered, making it harder for radar to detect. Here's the one thing about this picture, and I want you guys to just, even if you got to pause the podcast right now, just take a look at it. It looks like the damn thing, which is part of the 21st century technology, is sitting on cinder fucking blocks. I'm not lying. Take a look at it. It looks like it's sitting on 4 cinder blocks that were painted in red. Now, if you had the Moonraker experience growing up like I did, when you come out of your home and you walk up to your mode of transportation, in those days, a vehicle, a car, and the fucking thing is on cinder blocks, that means somebody stole your fucking tires. Somebody stole that thing's tires. It doesn't fucking have any. I'm just saying, there's a problem with that picture. Why is that thing sitting on cinder blocks? That's what I want to know. You can't paint the shit red and think people are not going to catch up on that. Because there's no way that that's how that thing lands. On those 4 fucking bricks that it has. So either this is a movie prop that the Chinese folks are using to intimidate their people, or it's an empty shell. Thank you, CNN. I appreciate that in every single way. I have flashbacks. Man. That shit happened to me one time. Walked out of my damn building and my fucking car was sitting on cinder blocks. Can't drive around New York City like that. It makes a lot of noise when that steel is hitting the pavement. Sad times. Sad times. You know, the power of coconut rum is amazing. Because I was just sitting here. I just told you the story, which was a true story. I did happen to have my tires stolen at one time in the good old Bronx, New York. And it was a 72 Nova, by the way. But I was just thinking, it just hit me for the first time since that happened. And we're talking about a long time ago. How the fuck? What? These people were actually driving around with 4 fucking cinder blocks in their vehicle? Did they have like a whole family walking around with them things? I just realized that. That is crazy. That is bananas. It's like, where the fuck did they get the cinder blocks from? Damn. Coconut rum is amazing. The next story, for you guys, while you think about that. How can a star be older than the universe? How can this is like one of those questions that is perplexing for many people. How can the star, one specific star that's known as HD 140283, how can that star be older than the universe? And there's some weird things here. Let's talk about this. Because it goes into my rant all the time. At least once a week I go into this about who the fuck cares. It's important that when you read these things, you have that attitude. Because at the end of the day, you'll be dead long before anyone figures out what the fuck is going on X light years away. Let's just be honest about that. Let's be truthfully and painfully honest. That this question that's being posted or pasted in this article at space.com, you'll be dead by the time they get a real answer. And your grandchildren and their grandchildren and their grandchildren. As a matter of fact, we will never know the answer at all. Humanity will probably be gone way before then. But let's just look at what they put in this article so that you can see why I'm saying you really shouldn't give 2 fucks about it. By the way, this thanks, David, for posting this in UBR Truth Seekers. Yeah, this just happened. It is a space mystery. Okay, the mystery here is, if the universe is 13.8 billion years old, how can a star be more than 14 billion years old? Yeah, basically, how can you be older than your parent? I don't know, some shit like that. Just humor me on this. It turns out some guy by the name of Bond, not James, was doing a bit of a study, and he came across an issue trying to figure out whether or not the initial figure that the universe was 16 billion years old was accurate. Now, how did he do this? I mean, he didn't sit around on the shitter somewhere counting his fingers and toenails and, oh my, going through all his pubes, counting every single hair on his toes. Nope, that's not how he did it. Because I don't think he'd be able to reach 16 billion. Hopefully not, because that would make him a Wookiee. Now, it turns out that he went over 11 sets of observations that were recorded from 2003 to 2011 by the fine guidance sensors of the Hubble Space Telescope. That is the gigantic school bus-sized telescope in the sky. So what did this fine guidance sensor do? Well, let me tell you, Rick. It basically took down some numbers regarding positions, distance, and energy outputs of stars. Because over an 8-year period, Mr. Bond had nothing else better to fucking do. But he is dedicated to his cause. And here's a quote from Bond, not James. He said, one of the uncertainties with the age of HD 140283 was the precise distance of the star. I can see that. Because most of those fucking things are extremely far. He continues, it was important to get the right to get the right. I'm so kind of busy trying to do a Bond accent. It's just not working. It was important to get this right because we can better determine its luminosity and from that its age. The brighter the intrinsic luminosity, the younger the star. We were looking for the parallax effect, which meant we were viewing a star 6 months apart to look for the shift in its position due to the orbital motion of the Earth, which tells us the distance. Sounds like he was teaching a class somewhere and he had a fucking flashback. Because honestly, if you go to space.com, how many of you know what the fuck he's talking about? I literally had to look this up. I mean, if you put this out for the public's consumption, write it in fucking English. That's what you should do. So for you guys, I've got a special experiment. It's a thing of beauty. So you just heard what he said about this parallax situation. But there's a UFO Buster radio wave for you to test this. That way you understand what the flying fuck Mr. Bond was saying. So, first things first, get yourself a large cup. If you're at work right now, I want you to stop what you're doing. If you have alcohol stashed in the back of your trunk of your car, go get it. If you need to leave work, let your boss know. Manny Moonraker said you need to go to the liquor store because you need a large volume of alcohol. It's important, right? I'm going to give you time to do that. Get that done. Some of you already have this shit in the trunk, so stop fucking around. I know you do. But for the others that wait till you get home, go take a break. Go home for lunch and do the experiment. Get yourself a large glass, right? Drink it as quickly as possible. Try to, not breathe. I know it might burn. And for some of you, it's already been burned quite a bit, so you're not even going to feel shit. But for those of you who are a little bit, green around the gills, just hold your nose or something. I don't know. Swallow it really fast. This is what you're going to do. Take your alcohol down. Brace yourself. Now you are going to do this. You are going to hold your hand in front of you. Straight ahead. 90-degree angle right in front of you. Hold your hand out. You can flick yourself off. Maybe believe you're flicking somebody else off. But whatever you see at the tip of your hand, that's going to be the star. Remember, we're talking about the parallax here. We're talking about measuring the distance to the star. Because the planet Earth and its motion, its movement, is going to help determine the distance. Hopefully you haven't passed out yet. So look at your hand, your middle finger or your thumb, and close your left eyeball. Close your left eyeball. Close it. Now, if you have vertigo, you probably already hit the floor, but I'm sorry. You should have thought about that before you did this. Close your left eyeball. And with your right eye, because that should be the only eye you have open, unless you only have one eye, then you're fucked. So I probably should have give you a warning in the beginning. If you're a Cyclops, don't do this. Because it won't work. If you're a Cyclops, if you're a pirate, there is no parallax effect for you. You're fucked. You can't even work as a scientist. So there goes your dream. But if you have two eyeballs, one right now is left is closed, the right one is open, and you're going to look at your hand, or your middle finger or your thumb, you're looking at it. Then, as if you were one of the most magical beings in the universe, you're going to close your right eye, and then you're going to open your left eye. Again, hopefully you got two. Did you notice that for some reason it looked like your thumb, your middle finger, or whatever the fuck you're holding up, moved? But didn't, right? What moved was your perspective. That is the parallax effect. Go get yourself a mitts. Go back to work. Don't talk to anybody because you smell like you're drunk. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all he had to say. That's all he had to tell us. Use your fucking hand. This is the parallax effect. All that shit he said make no sense. Anyway, like I say, you gotta dumb it down for us humans. Just dumb it down. Talk to us like we're all blue-collar folks who did not spend 50 years learning about how to measure a star that we would never get answers to about. But he says something else. And you can teach that trick to your kids, by the way. You're welcome. Another factor that was important was, of all the things, the amount of oxygen in the star, Bond said HT140283 had a higher than predicted oxygen to iron ratio. I still don't know how the fuck they know these things. And since oxygen was not abundant in the universe for a few million years, it pointed again to a lower age for the star. I don't understand how they do this stuff. I literally could not sit around and do this all day trying to figure this out. But Mr. Bond had a bit of a rebuttal. Now, if you thought what Bond said was fucked up, listen to this. This comes from someone in the UK, Robert Matthews, right, from Aston University. He says, like all measured estimates, it is subject to both random and systematic error. So he's saying Bond fucked up. And by the way, this guy's a physicist that's responding or commenting on Bond because he was not part of the initial research. But he says the overlap in the error bars gives some indication of the probability of a clash with cosmological age determinations. In other words, the best supported age of the star is in conflict with that of the derived age of the universe. No shit, Sherlock. Who the fuck? Are you serious? We just said that. The first fucking 5 paragraphs. Why do we need to listen to what he said? He's basically putting it back into gibberish. Yeah, that's what he did. And then he says the conflict can only be resolved by pushing the error bars to their extreme limits. I don't even understand why they even quoted this dude. What the fuck does he have to do with anything? Like, he's on the sidelines. He wasn't even part of the original project. But there he is talking shit. There is no honor among thieves. And what error bars are you going to use if you're holding your finger out in front of you or your thumb? Do you need to involve somebody else for that? I don't understand. That just doesn't work. How do you do a parallax effect with error bars? I'm just completely confused. Now, all of this, and this is where it brings me to the fact where it really doesn't fucking matter. All of this because the error is only 700 to 800 million years. This is what they're perplexed about. You really can't accept that maybe you miscalculated from billions to millions? Are you serious? Are you really wasting everyone's time like this? And to add insult to injury, the part that really gets me is that this star is basically 190 light years away. How many billion light years is that from the center of the universe? So wouldn't you think, by using common sense, that if this star is billions of light years away from the center of the universe, how could it really be older than the center of the universe? Unless it came from another universe. I mean, really, where the fuck else did it come from? If it's that far from the center of the universe, and it's only 190 light years from the planet Earth. I can't explain all of this, but this brings me back to my point, my weekly point. Who gives a flying fuck? In the grand scheme of things, none of this is going to help any of us today, tomorrow, 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. Literally, it will not. Sad state of affairs, but Dave, thank you. I appreciate it. It was educational for me because I learned the parallax effect when you're impaired by alcohol. It works wonders for you. And I think we should all do that. As a matter of fact, have someone videotape you when you do your liquor run and do that parallax effect in front of the liquor store and jam out to the podcast. I would really appreciate that in a million ways to one. This is Manny Mooracre. I'm checking out. I'm glad I could share this with you today. I was enamored by it, totally. I loved it every single moment. I'm going to walk around tomorrow just doing the parallax effect everywhere I can stop and see what people say. But the people that are going to be jealous, it's going to be those pirates and cyclops, because they can't do shit. Ciao.
Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.